This week is also Police Week, and joining me now is Chief of the Cornwall Police Service, Danny Aikman. Welcome, Chief Aikman.
Good morning, Gabriel.
So let's start, before we get into the specifics of Police Week, let's give our viewers maybe a COVID-19 update. We know that the Cornwall Police have adapted their services and of course been hard at work keeping our city safe with these new challenges. So let's start with an update on that.
Right, so things have been progressing quite well in the city of Cornwall. In the early days of the pandemic, we obviously had several emergency management Civil Protection Act related calls for service. That number has decreased over the past little while. Although as the nice weather comes about, we anticipate seeing increases of certain types of calls depending on what the province does as they go through the various phases of reopening the province.
Absolutely. I think it's important to note that for residents to make sure to follow the guidelines presented as things change. As it is, social distancing is still important. Gatherings over 5 are still prohibited, things like that.
Absolutely. And, the local officer of health, Dr. Romoliotis, has put in some rather stringent measures in regards to retail locations. And so we obviously are encouraging the members of the public to respect those provisions, and we're relying upon the retail locations to enforce those provisions. And probably the thing that we're most concerned about is gatherings of more than 5 individuals who do not live in the same household. And we want to encourage the city of Cornwall to continue respecting those restrictions until the province eases them.
And maybe we can just finish up on the COVID-19 and on the 5 people, because I know there's a lot of confusion of that, especially with some of the holiday weekends like Mother's Day and Easter, in terms of people that were discouraged from visiting other people's homes, but they also had that number of 5 people in their heads.
Right. So the intention is if you can have a gathering of 5 people who all live in the same household. If you don't live in the same household, that's the provision, and hopefully people are respecting that. And although we have had some calls for service of gatherings, in excess of 5 people, and we've cautioned those individuals accordingly.
All right, so Chief, let's move on and talk about Police Week. Obviously, it's going to be a little different this year than we're used to, but maybe let's start and talk about what Police Week is and why it's important.
Well, Police Week is really an opportunity for the police service to open its doors to the public and maybe show a little bit of behind-the-scenes activity, highlighting some of our community partnerships and the various activities that we do. Unfortunately, with the situation that we find ourselves in today, Police Week in 2020 is significantly different than any that we've seen in the past. So we are trying the best we can to create some virtual opportunities, some social media interaction, and continuing to communicate with the public and our community partners about the work we do, but just doing it differently.
So let's elaborate a little bit more on that. We know that the Cornwall Police Service social media has been busy. So let's talk about maybe what we've seen so far and what maybe a little sneak peek at what people can expect throughout the week if they follow Cornwall Police on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Yeah, Stephanie McRae, our communications coordinator, is doing a wonderful job of creating content. I know there was some information put out yesterday in regards to our vulnerable persons registry, and we're encouraging people to take advantage of that. She highlights as well our various traffic enforcement initiatives, and we've obviously got the social media activity in regards to Joy, our facility dog, that's going on as well.
All right, so you segued right into it, so let's talk about Joy. As a dog lover myself, I was pretty excited about that contest, even though I may be a little old for it, so maybe talk about the contest and what it's all about.
So Joy came to us a couple of years ago, actually. She was originally with Victim Services, who we partner with in providing support to victims of crime. And due to some circumstances, she has now resides with our quartermaster, Danielle Lozo, on a permanent basis. And we continue to use her in a victim capacity, but also as a facility dog. And I can tell you she's a beautiful chocolate lab. I've had a chocolate lab in the past, and I'm quite taken by Joy. She's a beautiful little dog, and very comforting to have around. And our staff certainly enjoys interacting with her when she's in the building. So the contest with Joy is opening it to members of the public to share their own joy, and we'll be happy to receive those submissions from particularly young people.
Absolutely. And Chief, let's just finish off. And what is the main message that we should take from Police Week? Obviously, we know that our frontline workers and emergency response staff, including Cornwall Police, are of the utmost importance all the time, but especially now in COVID-19. So what message would you like the community to take away from Police Week this year?
Well, we at the Cornwall Police Service, we continue to lead the way to a safer community, and we've had to pivot a lot of our activities towards more of a public health policing. We're prepared to do that, and we'll continue to do that, but we're also ever vigilant for criminal activity and traffic enforcement and things along those lines as well. So we're conducting business as usual, but differently.
Excellent. Well, Chief, on behalf of the City of Cornwall and, of course, your TV, thank you so much for joining us, but also thank you to you and the entire staff at Cornwall Police for everything that you do.
My pleasure, Gabriel. Thank you.